Hey guys, Terrence here again, Neptune Systems. Let's Talk Reef, another show this week for you guys. Excited to be here. Sorry we're a couple minutes late, technical difficulties and all that, but we're definitely going to have a good show here today. We've got Joe from the dev team.
How's it going?
Welcome, Joe,
Thank you.
to the studio.
Yeah.
You've been on Let's Talk Reef before?
I have, but I haven't been in the studio.
Yep. What do you think?
It's nice.
Yeah? You're not intimidated?
Smaller than I thought.
So, yeah, we got Joe here today. We're going to talk about some things with Joe regarding some software stuff that's coming up. So that's pretty exciting stuff, right?
Yes, very exciting.
We'll have a show about you guys. We'll take some questions. You got Joe here. I can't guarantee I'll let him answer every question, though, because he knows things that, I'd have to terminate you if you let them out of your lips. So. Hopefully it'll be a great show for you guys. We've got a number of people already showing up. Welcome again. Every other Tuesday we're doing these at 5 p.m. Now It's West Coast Standard Time, Pacific Standard Time. We're no longer in daylight savings time.
I know, it was dark last night.
So we're officially, I guess we're at 6 o'clock, now at 5 o'clock until we get used to it. So we get a day or two of using it as an excuse.
I hope so, because I need it.
I woke up this morning to go for a walk, and it seemed like it was like 4 in the morning. We need more Joe audio?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. I don't know why we need no Joe audio here.
Come up, Terrence.
I think your thing might be muted or off there, buddy. Are you? There, try that.
How do I sound? Better?
Nope.
No?
I don't know what's going on with your sound. Check. Well, I guess we'll share a mic for a moment until we can figure out. No? Okay. We've got Joe's iPhone. I got the H6 on here, and looks like we've got.
Guys, it's fine. It's good?
Yeah, you got enough audio there? Okay,
right,
so the guys on the other side of the camera say you can hear him. Meanwhile, we'll have somebody else figure it out for us while I go through the first things that Joe doesn't even need to comment on if he doesn't want to. First of all, the next show is going to be on the 19th in 2 weeks at 5 o'clock. Like I said, I want to see some questions and comments for you guys because we're going to have a good part of the show for that. Hopefully you've got some good stuff. As always, thank you for all the positive feedback that you give us at the events. We come see you guys at the events, and I love when you come by, you tell myself or you tell Paul, you say, hey, guys, awesome show. Keep doing Let's Talk Reef because it makes us want to put stuff together and come out every other Tuesday for this. On top of that, we have, in addition to Let's Talk Reef, we now have Control Freak Wednesdays. Joe, what do you think about those?
Honestly, I really like them.
Yeah?
I really like them, yeah. I learned a lot in the last one. There's some stuff there that was really clever that I wouldn't have even thought of.
Like what?
My personal favorite, honestly, was the multi-float switches all the way down the sump to know exactly what that water level is. That's something that I wanted to do.
That was with John Halsey, Suncrest Reef last week.
Yeah, that's right. So that was really cool. It was just something that's like, it's a really simple thing to do, right? You
Right.
just need 4, 5, 6 float switches, but having that information is a little better than just one.
Well, it's something I want to do every other week. I hope that I get more guys like John to come out and participate and be on the program and allow open their homes to open themselves up. I'm too scared to do it on mine because my stuff's a mess. So these guys are definitely daring to be able to put it out there for all of you guys. But don't be too intimidated because it can't be as bad as my wiring mess. We also showed you, even though you weren't here, the second time.
Yes. Yes. It was the picture of me, right?
Yes,
yeah.
every time we do a Joe, how's Joe's tank doing?
Yeah,
Joe's not here.
It's just a photo of me.
Joe's not here.
It's still hanging there, by the way.
Maybe we'll dedicate a Control Freak Wednesday just to you, Joe. How's that?
Okay, that sounds good.
So on top of that, we also have local fish stores out there that we like to give a shout out to every once in a while. The one this week, a friend of mine out in Utah, his name is Jerry. And he owns Reef in Midvale, Utah.
Okay.
And that is an amazing store. He just got a new location out there in Midvale, right off of State Street, which is the main drag in Salt Lake. And what's up? He's got audio now?
Good. Hopefully everyone can hear me.
Yep, looks like you got audio now.
Excellent. Thank you.
Good. We got somebody behind the scenes. It's Vincent. Vincent is the man,
Thanks,
taking
Vincent.
care of the audio video for us. Multi-talented crew we have here. So anyway, so Jerry runs the store out there. He's fully stocked up. I think I've got a picture here. Check out all this gear. Let's see here. Reef on. There we go. Ooh, look at that. Cabinet full of gear. He's got everything there waiting for you. He's got all the answers for the Apex questions that you have. He installs the stuff all around the Salt Lake area. So definitely, if you're in Salt Lake or in and around Salt Lake, or even coming to visit, come in, stop in, see Reef on, pay them a visit, and tell them you saw it on Let's Talk Reef. All right. Other news that's coming up. We have another frag swap coming up. We're done with all of our big shows for the year. Mm-hmm. So those are done. Thank goodness.
There's a lot. There are a lot.
It is quite the schedule. But we are going to be at the Manhattan Reef's frag swap. It's been going on forever out in Brooklyn, New York. It's going to be at the Pratt Institute, which I think we have somebody here whose daughter might actually go to that school. I think it might be the guy who did the audio-video stuff, Vincent.
Is it Vincent?
Yeah, Vincent's daughter goes to Pratt. But they've been putting that on for quite a number of years there at Pratt, and I guess it's a great frag swap. We donated some stuff to the raffle. So if you're in the New York area, you want to go to a really great frag swap, get your tickets. I guess the tickets are only advance notice. I don't know that they do it at the door. I think that they sell out, but give it a look any way it goes. All right. Okay, next up, Tridents and Trident reagent availability. It's the question everybody's always asking. So let's see. Let's see if anybody even asked the question yet.
I didn't see anything about Trident.
Derek says, "Whoa, that guy going under the table." Terrence says, "Just let Joe sit." I don't think so.
Nope, not happening.
That's not happening. Let's see. I don't see anybody asking about the Trident stuff yet,
surprising.
But that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Usually there's a question by now. It's like, why can't I get a Trident? Guys, we're building them as fast as we can, and they're going out, and every week more and more of them are going out. So if you keep trying, you'll probably be, fortunate enough to get on there online or at one of your local fish stores. Talk to Jerry at Reef On. I'm sure he's got a list over there. As far as reagents are concerned, they are in stock at a lot of our dealers. Have it. Our premium dealers have the reagents. And also online, I know I just checked today, Bulk Reef Supply had 54 of the 2-month kits in stock. They're out of the 6-month kits, but they definitely had the 2-month kits. So you can certainly get reagent kits now. Scott Carl says, "Give you my kidney for the Trident on your wall." Actually, I think that one works. To be honest with you, I don't even think that's an empty shell. That's just one in reserve, I guess. So maybe we'll take you up on that. Kano Savino said, "Am I going to the Manhattan Reefs frag swap?" I am not, but Tom will be there. Excellent. So Tom is our East Coast sales manager. He will be out there at that event, so you can go play Stump Tom and see if you can give him an Apex question that he can't answer.
That'd be tough. I think he'd get him.
I think
he'd get them all.
I think he would too. You could more easily stump me than you could stump him. And let's see, who is this? Robin Owsley Cariotti.
Oh, come on.
Who is that?
That's my mom.
I love it.
Probably had my whole family on there.
Yeah?
Yeah, most likely.
This is great.
Yeah.
This is great. So shout out to Mom. Say hi,
Shout
Mom.
out to Mom. Hi, Mom and Dad.
This is good stuff. That's the way the live streams go. Everybody say
goes,
hi
yeah.
to Joe's mom. She's out there on the live stream. So first tech news that I'm going to put out here, now that we've gotten through all of that and the Trident stuff, we have a new AOS, Apex Operating System, that is, I think it released just a few minutes ago.
I believe so.
Okay. Not going to say it's a huge deal because we didn't do that many things in it, but we did do some important Trident
There's
stuff.
some significant stuff there, yeah.
So from what I know, there's a couple of key things. The first thing is that, there's some performance enhancements in there. We're always trying to make it better. But one of the key things in this, as far as the Trident is concerned, is now the Trident, when you get a reading that's out of range for some reason, maybe something went awry, maybe you the measurement didn't go right. There's other reasons why it can happen.
Right.
Instead of not erroring, you're now going to get this bad alk range or bad cal range or bad magnesium range. The other important part about that is you get you can set it in your alarms, right, Joe?
Yeah, that's right. So you can go in and set alarms for different ranges. So if your alk goes above a certain
every
value,
module has errors, though, right?
Yes, I believe so. Every module should have errors.
So you can actually, if any module has a problem, it could be, I mean, a wave pump's a module, right?
Sure, yeah.
Everything we see as an add-on is
a wave, a core, yeah, absolutely.
They're all looked at as modules. So you can set alerts based on any of those errors.
That's correct.
Now, one of the things you'll see in here is that it says 0 for the alkalinity. One of the concerns people would immediately have is that going to mess up my graphs?
No.
No.
That's not going to mess up your graphs.
So what's it going to do then if it's not getting a good reading, the reading's out of range?
So from the last time you got a good reading, you'll just see a flat line as if nothing has changed or as if the Trident doesn't know what the newer value is.
It's not measuring anything.
It's not measuring anything. So once you get a new value that it feels confident in, that will change from 0 and your line graph will resume.
Perfect, perfect. But as far as your programming, you could use that 0, that kind of placeholder
absolutely.
0 for your programming.
Right. So if I wanted to, I could write a line of code that says if my alkalinity is below 3, which we should never get an alkalinity range of below 3. What that means is that you didn't get a test result. That I could get an alert immediately for that. So I could get a notification to say, hey, that last Trident test that just finished.
Right.
Didn't get a good value.
What about for the automated dosing control? Is that just going to go back to the nominal value if we were to have this problem happen or something occur?
Sure. So that would go to the nominal value if your tests ever fall outside the range that you've set up in Trident controlled dosing.
So this is, again, the way we don't get this runaway condition.
Exactly. So you're always falling back to what you typed in as the nominal dosage. So
I said 100 milliliters, and then it's going to automatically maybe go up to 130 or down to 70. But if it gets something that's out of the norm like this, it's just going to go right back to that 100 milliliters.
Or for those of us with 100-gallon systems and not 600 gallons, it's like 10 milliliters. So my nominal dosage is 10. So if anything falls outside that range, I know it's dosing 10. And I can set up an alarm now.
10? What kind of tank is this?
A new tank. A new tank.
I was say 10 milliliters. That's like
it's a very new tank.
That's like 3.5 minutes in my tank.
Yeah, well, there's the whole water volume thing. Yeah.
Yes,
but
no
it's
doubt.
But it's nice that I can know immediately that it didn't get a good test value, that last test, and that I know that my dose is just that nominal dosage, and that I can go in and immediately fix it. Right after I get that bad test value.
Another important thing on this, and part of this update actually happened. We found out a couple of things that even on mine, where I looked at it and something was going wrong. I didn't know it was going wrong. It looked like it said that I had 8.2 alkalinity, and I didn't even pay attention to anything, right? Because I don't look that close. Oh, it's 8.2 or whatever.
Yeah, it looks good, right?
But in effect, it wasn't really testing,
right?
And so it thought everything was all hunky dory. But now what'll happen is it'll show 0.
That's right.
And I have to change the code because I use the calcium reactor automatic adjustment.
Right.
I now have to add a line of code at the very end to say, okay, if it's if my alkalinity is less than 3, like you said, go back to whatever my normal is for the pH.
Right, which is essentially the same thing we're doing for the Trident controlled dosing.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Okay, well, we're almost up to 100 people on here. This is good. We're doing well for our live stream, so I'm happy about that. You guys, while you're listening, share it around on Facebook or out on Twitter or what have you, the link. So, let's see. So we get the errors. That's going to come up. We got the last statement coming in. Oh, the ranges, too. So here's the ranges. I know you guys are probably wondering what range is it going to have before it has these limits. Here's the actual ranges. So if it's below 5 or over 15, alkalinity, then it's going to get that error. If it's below 250 or over 875, it'll get that error. And if it's below 850 or above 1950, clearly these are ranges that you'd never want to have.
I would hope not.
If you're keeping a reef tank.
Yeah, I would hope not.
Maybe if you're keeping a fish-only tank, you'd be kind of okay with that calcium level. But
maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. But anyway, that's what they are. And if you want any more information on this AOS release, you can always go out to the forum, forum.neptunesystems.com, and find out more info about that. Kono says, who has the Trident on Long Island? I don't know. You're going to have to check around out there. There's a new shop out there, I believe, called Reef. Reef? That just opened up out on Long Island. They're the ones to check. But I think we have 3 or 4 really good dealers out in Long Island. Let's see here. What do we have up next, Joe? Oh,
let's see.
The big news. Big news. Okay, so there is a new iOS app coming out.
Yes.
a new release of the iOS app.
Correct.
So we recently released a new version of the Android app to work with the new Android operating
version
system.
10, I believe, yeah.
Which really didn't do much other than make it kind of work, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you've been working on a new iOS app for a while now.
That's right.
What was wrong with the old one?
There's nothing wrong with the old one.
Good answer.
There's nothing wrong with the old one. The old one works just fine.
Okay.
The new one does a lot more than the old one does.
Okay. So before, I always thought it was really easy to set up, the Apex.
Mm-hmm.
What does this new app do? I know there's something with the setup. What makes it so much better? What's the biggest thing that's happening in it?
Sure. So previously, when you're setting up an Apex, or if you're a first-time user, you would go to our Getting Started page to get the Apex guide, the setup guide, and you would go to apexfusion.com to create your account.
Okay.
And then at some point in there,
The web page, right?
The web
so you go out
page,
to that
yeah.
web page and you have to create your account.
That's correct. So at some point in there, you get a link token from your Apex, and you would enter that in the web page, and that would sync everything up.
No more link tokens?
No more link tokens.
This is going to be a good
I
interview.
know.
Okay.
I know. So what we've done is we brought everything I just mentioned inside the app. So you
Okay.
can now create an account from within the app. That leads
Apex Fusion account.
an Apex Fusion account. So if you're a brand new user, you can create an account. That'll drop you on a page where you can instantly link your Apex.
Okay.
That will walk you through setup instructions. So previously,
So let me just re-explain this for myself. So now I just download the app.
You
That's
download the
all
app.
I do.
Yep.
And from the app, I don't have to go out to Apex Fusion anymore. I don't have to go get the link token.
Nope.
So what about setting it up on my network and whatnot? What's changed there?
So the app handles that. That's the beauty of it.
Okay.
So from the app, you would say, I just want to connect a new Apex.
Okay.
From there, pick which Apex you want, or which
So
Apex you have.
before, to remind people, right, you had to go to your settings,
Yeah.
right, open up settings, find the
Wi-Fi
hotspot for the Apex. It
Right.
said Apex setup or something with a serial number on it.
Yeah, with a serial number, right.
For your Apex. Then you'd select that. Then you'd go back to the app.
Right.
And then you'd have to choose
You'd
your
actually have to go to
network.
Apex Local and find your local dashboard.
All that's gone.
All that's gone.
This is awesome.
So
okay?
the app handles that. So you basically say, I have an Apex or an Apex EL. It shows you a little video, walks you through how to plug everything in.
Okay.
And then the app does all of the handshaking with the Wi-Fi network, the hotspot, the link token, and it basically drops you on your dashboard at the end.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we do have your phone plugged in here.
Yep.
We have some technical issues, not with the app really or our process, but actually having it connect into
That was more difficult than I thought.
My
Yeah.
eCam software and everything else
Yeah.
that I have here. So, but we do have a backup,
Right.
which is you recorded a little video, so we can
Exactly.
walk through the video of the setup if that doesn't work.
There we go.
So everybody bear with me a second while I try to dial us into the mode that we need to be in here.
I believe
So
in
there's
you,
Joe and
Terrence.
I. And here's Joe's phone.
Hey, it looks like it's working.
And okay, go back to there, and then let's add us. Okay, so this is you.
This is me.
All right, man, give it a roll.
All right, let's see if we can do this.
See if we can make it work.
So what we're going to
The
do,
ragtag network here.
what we're going to do here is we're going to walk through setting up an Apex.
Okay.
So this screen you guys have never seen before. This is a brand new screen. What we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and put in some information here. So we'll call this Apex.
So this is where let me see here. So many times people set up their Apex, they never change the name of the Apex.
Oh yeah, that's
it just
right.
says Apex,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So now, right from the beginning, you get to name your Apex. So
Exactly.
when you share your Apex with your buddy, this is what it'll say instead of Apex.
Exactly. So live stream sounds like a good name. So let's see if we can
Perfect.
change it to live stream.
Okay.
You can put in your total water volume now. So
Awesome.
we'll save that and we'll use that in the future.
Zip, man.
Zip.
Yeah, we can't tell them too much stuff. We
Oh,
got to leave
okay.
them hanging, okay?
Okay, we'll leave them hanging.
We're going to get some metadata
Perfect.
out of people, and we're going to use it later on something,
use
so
it
you guys
later.
can think of what that might be.
Exactly. All right, so now you can see which Apex are we using. So we're going to set up an Apex and an Apex EL right here.
Okay.
We're not leaving anyone else hanging, though. You can set up a Classic or a Light if you
So
have
if you
one.
got one, let's say on the secondary market or what have
Exactly.
you from somebody and
Right.
bought it and want to set it up, or you have an old one, maybe you're getting back into the hobby again.
Exactly.
You can still download this
Still-
app and still help you walk you through it.
Still no link tokens. Or an Apex Junior, if you have that, we'll hook you up to.
Okay.
Cool, so for this we're going to show the Apex setup.
All right.
The Wi-Fi setup walks you right through it just like the wired setup.
Okay.
That takes a little longer. We'll go through the wired setup.
So we're going to
we
use
can get
wired
through this.
right now because in
It's
this
just quicker.
building we've got a gazillion Apexes that we're
Yeah.
setting up out back. and we don't want them to get confused. So now you see this awesome video. You see the hand model, which is Paul. He's in there plugging stuff in, so now we're showing you exactly what to do. We're hoping this is going to, I mean, a lot of you guys on the live stream, you've already done this.
Yeah.
This is old hat to you guys, but if you're recommending the product to a friend, now you can feel even better that they're going to be able to do this step by step and get to a result in the end and not call you on the phone.
Exactly, exactly.
Look at that. The music is so soothing too.
Paul loves the music.
Oh,
I'm a big fan of it as well.
So good. Oh, I don't have the music on. Look at this. They're not hearing the music, I don't think.
Oh no.
Oh no, I
think they got it.
Oh,
I think they got it.
I think they have it.
Yeah.
It's not showing up here. But anyway, so now you're going to power on your Apex.
Then you're good to go. So once that's powered on, I'm just going to tell you go ahead and connect Ethernet, wired, which is probably the best way to connect your Apex if you have the option.
Wireless is great.
Yeah.
Wireless works, but if you have a wired connection, it's always going to be better.
The way I think about it, this is life support for my aquarium. I don't want my life support relying on a wireless connection.
I agree with you.
That simple. So once you've plugged in wired, this will search your local network for any Apex. So we just found Livestream right here, and we're going to link it.
So it automatically found the Apex.
It automatically found it.
It's ready to go.
Yep. So we're going to go ahead and link it to our account.
So now you already had logged in with your Apex Fusion account?
That's correct. I didn't want to create an account here, so I was already logged in with my account.
So what things are we asking people with Apex Fusion, just as a refresh? Because a lot of these people, they haven't done it a long time ago, and maybe there's new people.
Yeah, for me it was years ago. So we basically just grab your first and last name.
Okay.
So that way when we contact you, talk to you as a person would. We're collecting the location that you're keeping your aquarium at.
Okay, why would you do that?
Now I know a lot of people are like, well, what do you need to know where I'm at for? So what we use that location data for is to diagnose.
And we ask you whether or not you've got a femininus wrasse, and whether or not you lock your back door.
Not that much. No, not that much.
No?
No.
Okay.
So we just want to know your location for diagnosing outages, basically.
Okay.
So if we have an outage, on the West Coast.
So our stuff works with AWS.
Amazon AWS, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of other backup services and things that are layered on there. I know it's way outside of my tech range. But what happens is that if we get stuff down, we want to know whether or not, is this a general outage everywhere?
Right.
Or is there just something down in New Jersey?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And we've used that data before to figure out whether or not we had an issue or whether or not it was like a local issue.
Okay.
And then all we ask for is a username and password, and that's all you need to get started.
Okay, so once this is finished, right, now they go to their dashboard. Is it going to go to their dashboard
now?
So
yeah, what you can see here, this is just
this
little loading screen. Yeah, I'm just going to go straight to the dashboard.
Okay.
This is the Apex we just configured.
Now, one of the really cool things about this is that if you haven't even configured, at this point, any outlets, and maybe you don't want to do that right away for whatever reason, all of the probes, if you have them in the tank, even though they're not calibrated or what have you, they're already sensing the data if you have them in the tank.
Yeah, exactly.
And your alarms are already set, right?
Exactly.
So you're already going to get a temperature alarm right away, even if you're just like, you know what, I can't deal with this till tomorrow. You have things already pre-configured and set up for you.
That's exactly right. Everything should be pre-configured within ranges that make sense for a saltwater aquarium.
Now, trick question from Paul, what should they do next if they want to set something up?
You click on the task button.
So what Paul said was you click on the task button.
Exactly.
And we're absolutely going to click on the task button.
And there you see, now you decide what it is you want to set up. If you want to set up, your dose, or you want to set up one of your outlets to be a skimmer or a light or anything
pump,
like that.
any of those things.
So when people ask you, is it hard to set up your Apex? All of you geeky guys out there, please do not say, well, yeah, there's tons of programming that you got to do. Because that's not true, and you know it. For all of those people, you don't want them calling you up. You just say, oh, yeah, it's super simple. You just run the task, and there you go.
Exactly.
So that's what we want.
Exactly.
Everybody, just like Paul says, run the task.
It's 90%.
Yep, and there are plenty of tasks there. So definitely check that out before you go making changes.
So what do you think? You think people can get the Apex set up with this in, 10 minutes?
I would say, yeah, about 10 minutes, I would say.
10 minutes. Yeah. They're already monitoring their pH, their temperature.
Yep.
They're saline. Again, they're not calibrated yet, but they're going to be close enough to get you
and that's fine.
Away from the ranges if you have a problem.
Yep.
That's excellent.
Yep.
Amazing. Okay. Paul, man, you're off camera, okay? Got this. The fourth wall here just kind of coming through. So let's see. We have any questions from you guys? I saw somebody out there with another name I'm familiar with saying you got a great UI there, buddy.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Another family member coming on.
I'm telling you, you've got the whole family on.
Yeah, no doubt. Jeff Bednarik is asking me mainly, is there an update on the Trident servicing program or kits? The answer to that is not yet. I don't think it'll be that far off that we'll release some information. There's a lot of misinformation out there around this. I've heard everything from you need to send it away.
Yep.
It's going to cost you $150 to send it out,
yep.
and then you're not going to get it back for 3 weeks.
I've seen a lot of misinformation.
And you need to do that in 9 months.
Yep.
Tons of misinformation.
I
guess no good deed from us goes unpunished.
Yeah.
Because all we wanted to do was let people know that, look, like any device on your aquarium, you're going to have to service it.
Right.
This is a little bit more complicated device.
Right.
So you can do it yourself, or you can send it in to us.
Exactly.
At some point, we're going to have all the details, but I believe we said it's going to be less than $200 if we're going to take care of it, and that'll include shipping. And it's, I think, less than $100, I think we quoted before, for the do-it-yourself kit.
But I think the important part that I keep seeing that bothers me is that I'm seeing that your Trident will stop working after 18 months if you don't do this servicing.
Yeah, that is one of the myths also that I've heard, and that's not true. It's not like there are some monitoring service products out there. There's more than one, actually.
Right.
I don't need to name who they are, but those products, in fact, do stop working if you stop paying them their monthly fee.
Right.
That is not how the Trident works.
Not at all.
And we're basically have been saying 18 to 24 months. We don't necessarily know for sure. That is a preventative maintenance kind of thing where we're saying, look, if you want to have ongoing great performance out of your Trident like you're enjoying, probably at around 18 to 24 months, you're going to want to do this.
Right.
So I'm going to hopefully say this over and over and over again.
Yep.
Maybe sometime it will.
We'll clear it out.
We'll get it all cleared up.
We'll clear it up.
That's about where we are now, Jeff. I don't have an answer for you with the specific details, but I think you got enough to go on there. Let's see, other questions. Mike Dorch on Facebook says, what's the difference between the $799 Apex and the $499 Apex controller? So that's the Apex and the Apex EL. I'm going to actually ask you that because as a person,
put me on the spot.
I am going to, because as anybody from Neptune Systems, you should be able to define the difference between the two Apexes. So tell us.
Sure. So what you're getting with the Apex EL that's different from the Apex is your probes.
Okay.
So on the EL, you're not going to get a, let's see if I get this right, conductivity probe.
Salinity, yeah.
Or P probe.
That's correct.
And VDM ports, so variable speed ports.
Correct. Those are the three things.
Those are the three major differentiators.
You don't just not get the probes, you don't get the ports to plug them into either.
Exactly. But that doesn't mean that you can't add a module on later on and add those same probes.
Exactly.
So you get the same expandability, but you're not quite buying in as much right up front.
So you sure you want to stay in development? So yeah, he got it exactly right. Those are the differences, and you can add it on. And if you add it on, the only penalty really is a little bit of extra dollars, probably an extra $150, $200 to add those features on after the fact. So if you have variable speed pumps that you want to utilize, or lighting like the older Kessel lights, or the dimmable T5 lights like you have on your tank out there, then you'll want to have those dimmable ports too.
Exactly.
So that's the real difference there, Mike. I hope that answers your question. I should have put that on the screen as actual question.
That's a good question.
It was a good question. Let's see. Did you see any other questions out here that look good? Why do the PMUP V2 pumps keep going out of stock? They're super popular.
Yeah,
it's a
people
great
keep
little
buying
pump.
them. Yeah.
It's a great little pump, and people are buying them and using them for all kinds of different things. So hopefully we can, get more and more of them built and keep them in stock. Let's see. Are you guys realizing a new auto feeder? That's from Caesar. You know what? We don't really talk about any of the new products that we might have coming out. Anything is possible, Caesar. So I'm going to leave you with that tease. Let's see. Can Jeff Bednarik ask, can you add a QR code to the calibration fluid bottles and allow users to scan the cal values instead of entering them? It's a great idea, Jeff, and not one that we haven't already thought about. There are some improvements that we've got on the list of things to do. I don't know exactly how we will tackle that one. But a QR code's not out of the question for sure. It's definitely been discussed. Let's see. Great UI, Joe. There it is from Michael. Is that your brother?
That's my uncle.
Oh, it's your uncle.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
I told you the whole family's showing up.
Let's see here.
How often should I calibrate my Trident?
Oh, there's a good question.
That's a good question.
Yeah. So I am a lazy calibrator. I haven't even calibrated sometimes when I've changed reagents, which probably isn't a good idea. The rule of thumb is that you should do it every time you change the B and C reagents, or all three of the reagents. I've got Paul offline here. I feel like I've like...
He's scolding. He's like scolding
He's like
you.
looking at me
Yeah.
like, oh no, don't do that. Don't tell them that.
Don't tell, yeah.
But no, you should do it basically every time that you are changing out the B and C, A, B, and C, all three of them.
So what
That's
happens if you
I'm
don't?
Because the values that are on there are coordinated, I guess, with the solutions, and you want to make sure that when you put the new solutions in, you're supposed to run it 3 times with the new process.
Right.
There's a new little sheet of paper in there that tells you what to do.
Right.
As soon as you get consistent values with the new reagents, then you can run the calibration,
Right.
and then it knows that, okay, this is what the value is supposed to be,
Yep.
and it lines it all up for you.
Exactly.
That's a technical term, so all that, you know. Will a wave pump stop if an anemone gets sucked in? That's from Mark Waller. Well, I think, let's see, I wonder if I can get this on the screen anymore. Oh, look, we're still on our screen here. Let's go back to our dual screen. How
Oh
about
yeah,
that?
yeah, we can turn that
We're
on.
sitting here in the main shot.
There you go.
So will it stop? It depends. I guess if it was a really big anemone,
Yeah, probably.
it might gum it up enough that it would stop. It might continue to try to start up again and eventually carve its way through it.
That's kind of what I think would happen.
Probably.
Yeah, I think it would chew through the anemone.
Yeah, for
Unfortunately.
the most part, anemones and powerheads, that is the unsolved thing in aquariums right now.
That's why I don't have one.
Because they do have these grates and things that you put over them, but ultimately they slow the flow, they get gummed up with stuff that don't work, right?
I've still put an anemone through Powerhead with a grate on it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things you're going to have to live with if you're going to have anemones in your tank and powerheads. Zachary David. So Zachary David's question. Let's see, look, I can put them on the screen here.
Nice.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Is the Core 20 and Core 15 pump body interchangeable? I own both and set them down next to each other, and there are no discernible differences. That is correct. The pump body themselves are identical. The difference between those two pumps are in the controller box and whether or not they need a power supply.
Right.
So the Core 15 doesn't use a power supply. It actually plugs into your one-link connection, either on the one-link module or on the Energy Bar 832. And the Core 20 has its own power supply that plugs into it. But as far as the bodies are concerned, they're the same.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Another question here. 'Cause we're getting good questions, so keep the questions coming. Any chance of Trident tube extensions and programming to allow further distances to install?
Interesting.
You know, I know this is a want that's out there. I know that there are technological things that make that difficult to do. At this point, I don't see the want reaching the state of us being able to solve this for that small group of people. So I won't exactly say that it's never going to happen, but I won't say it's high on the priority list. So feeding chilled liquids with the dose. So why don't you tell everybody how that goes, man? Because
I'm a big fan of the feeding chilled liquids with the dose. So in the last, I don't know how many live streams ago it was, I showed off my little mini fridge that sits one room over from my aquarium that I've drilled a hole in the top of and put a dose tube into. I keep, I think it's Reef Nutrition ROE, little fish eggs.
So where did you get that little chiller thing? Is that just from Amazon?
Yeah, from Amazon.
Okay.
It was one of the cheapest
was it?
ones. I think $40 or $50.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so I didn't feel too bad drilling into the top of it.
Right.
So I keep a little bottle of Reef Nutrition ROE in there, dosing tube in it, and then a slightly complex set of virtual outlets that ends up dosing that multiple times per day.
I don't know, it's Stump Paul, so...
Yeah, there's more than there needs to be there. It could be simpler, but I like to go above and beyond sometimes. So,
well, it's definitely something that's out there. So maybe you can go out onto the forum and
that's a good point. Yeah, I should
leave,
do a little
leave
how-to.
a how-to on how you did that and show a couple of pictures for everybody. I know they'd appreciate it.
There's a YouTube video of it.
There's a YouTube video.
Oh yeah, Paul did a YouTube video explaining how to do that as well.
Okay, well there you go. Oh, that's the original one.
The original one, yeah.
How to rewind and
That's
everything.
what inspired me.
Okay, good. Oh, you know what? You didn't show us some of the other cool stuff. So now that we've taken a couple of questions, okay, we've got the time. Is there something else in the app that you can show us?
I think so.
All right,
There's a couple other things in there.
Let's see if it'll work. Let's pull it up, and now you're back on. Let's get rid of this. So we are one of the things that I know in discussing with you a lot of the features and whatnot. We're trying to integrate more of the iOS, I guess, coolness factor things into our app. So whether it be security or Siri or these kinds of things,
exactly,
and it's going to be a it's going to be an evolution of things that we're going to do. So I know you're trying certain things out. Some of them are going to be more smoothly integrated, and some of them are going to be kind of hacks for a while.
Basically, we're going to see what works and keep going with it. And if it doesn't work or it doesn't seem like it's very usable or user-friendly, then we just won't pursue that any longer.
So one of them that you talked about was the login, right?
Yeah, actually, we could show the login.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do that. First, I'll log right out, and we'll just land on your login screen.
Okay.
So what we've done here is we've integrated with Keychain and your password managers. So the first time you log in from, let's say, Safari, you might often see like, oh, do you want to save this password in your Keychain? If you decide to click yes, then when you land in your Apex Fusion app, we can pull that password out of your Keychain and automatically log you in without you having to remember that.
Very cool.
So I'm a big fan of that one because I don't like typing my password ever. So that makes it really nice for me.
So why you getting okay?
Oh, I don't know.
Who knows?
The login page.
Well, anyway, so that's basically coming straight out of iOS's Keychain, where they keep all of that stuff, and that migrates between when you're on your computer, if you're on a Mac computer, or you're on your iPad, or you're on any of your devices that you're logged in, you'll be able to see that.
Exactly. And it's not just Keychain, too. If you use a password manager like 1Password or LastPass, it'll integrate right in with that.
Because they work with the Apple guys to make sure that their stuff seems native,
exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, so what else is new?
So let's jump into, let's go into the settings here.
I know all the kids are loving the dark thing.
That's exactly what I wanted to show you. So
this is all the rage.
Once this app goes live, you guys are probably used to seeing it like this, with a light menu bar here, the light settings page, and all this stuff. So what we've done is we've started working towards dark mode. You can see it's labeled beta here.
Okay.
So you can choose whether you want your UI to be fully light or fully dark.
Very cool.
Or, the part that I like, you can tap this little automatic toggle here, and you can let your phone operating system tell Apex Fusion whether it should be light or dark.
Is that based on the time of day?
It can be based on the time of day, it can be based on sunrise, sunset, it can be based on your personal preferences. But if you're the type of person that likes to go in and change it frequently, and you just want all your apps to follow suit, this will allow it to follow suit. Or if you just like dark mode, you can just override it and set it to dark mode all the time.
So right now, though, it doesn't look like the one on the right, does it?
No, it doesn't. So if you look inside the Fusion app, the dashboard has a dark theme there. So we're currently working towards that.
Okay.
So what we have when we ship the app is the frame basically around your dashboard.
So like many apps out there, most people don't know this, but many apps out there actually have they're kind of hybridized, right?
Yep. So it's a hybrid between a native iOS app and a web page.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we do here too as well. So everything that is the native iOS app will show up in dark mode.
Do guys like LinkedIn or Facebook or any of those guys do anything like that too sometimes?
Plenty of companies use a hybrid. So what you'll see is, like, for example, if you go into the new setup, this is going to be dark themed. Right. And throughout the existing, the rest of the setup, it will be dark themed. The only thing that's not going to be dark themed yet is like
the stuff that pulls from the website.
That pulls from the website, exactly.
Which we're going to be changing that around at some point down the road so that you can have a fully dark or light.
Yep, and that'll all integrate and it'll be seamless. You won't have to change the settings on the website versus the app. The app will tell the website what to load, whether it should load dark or light themes.
Oh, excellent. Okay, one last thing.
One last thing?
Yes. Or is there more? Is there like 5 more things?
I mean, there's a couple things.
Okay, we'll keep going then.
All right, so one of my favorites is your phone actually can learn when you do certain things. So for example, every day when I get home, I feed my fish. At about the same time,
such a nice guy.
I try. At about the same time and the same place. So over time, iOS will learn to suggest to you whatever it is you were doing at that time.
This is like when I get in my car to leave here
exactly.
for the day, it tells me it's like 17 minutes until I get home?
Yep, exactly.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So it knows you're about to leave.
That kind of freaks me out a little bit.
It's a little weird, but when you realize what's going on, it's not that
Joe,
creepy.
It's been 5 minutes since you're supposed to feed your fish?
Maybe it will. I don't know. So what you can see here is if you were to go to your spotlight, which is basically just dragging down on your home screen,
okay,
you get general suggestions. So right now I'm getting suggestions to text and call my girlfriend because apparently I do that right around this time. But
I'm coming home soon, honey.
Yeah, probably. That's probably what it is.
Right.
But now if you notice, Apex Fusion stuff will show up here.
Okay.
So this is all the activity that I've been doing.
So it automatically is remembering this. Is this something you had to do when you were developing this so this would happen?
Yeah. So what it does is essentially as you're using Fusion, certain things, specifically feed modes and landing on a dashboard, are sent to the phone as a, hey, the user just did this.
Okay.
And then your phone goes, okay, well, they seem to be doing this every day at 5 p.m.
So I see on here that you open different Apex dashboards on here.
Exactly. So working here, there's a couple dashboards on my account, like 27, I think. It's a lot. So the ones I go to frequently show up more common. So you can see Lobby Reef, Atlantis, and Joe's Nano SPS.
Okay.
What I can do is just tap one of those and launch right into the app, right into that dashboard.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that's been really useful for me. So I just swipe over here and use this little widget over here to launch right into the dashboard that I want to get to.
How did you set up that little widget?
So that widget is called Shortcuts. It's part of iOS 13.
Okay.
So this is getting a little more geeky than I think most people are willing to do.
Hey, look, we're over 100, and so these guys want to hear some geeky stuff.
Cool, let's do it. So I really love this new Shortcuts app. It's basically pseudo programming on your phone, but with a really nice user experience.
Okay.
You're not writing code. You're more describing what you want to happen.
What you want to happen, okay.
Yeah. So here's something that we can do. So we could pop in here and just say like,
be careful, you are live, so if you want me to close this down.
That's fine, we should be fine, So if I go into Apex Fusion here, or go into the apps, I can see that Apex Fusion is an app that supports shortcuts now.
Okay.
And by tapping on that,
and that's new with this new version?
That's new with this new version.
Okay.
So by tapping on that, you'll see all the things that you've done recently. Now this would be more filled out if I wasn't a developer. I'm constantly cleaning this out and retrying it to see how it works. But then I can throw this in as part of my shortcut. So
it's in there because you've done this numerous times.
Yeah, exactly. So if you never feed D, for example, you never start feed mode D, that won't ever be suggested to you.
Okay.
There's no point in suggesting it to you if you've never actually done it before.
Can you rename those too, so that now I can make it more contextual than feed mode D?
So that's the cool part about shortcuts, is that whatever you name this shortcut is just usable by Siri. So I'll just show you a shortcut that I already have.
Don't tell me I can use audio to do that too.
So I have 3 shortcuts here, Lobby, Reef, Atlantis, and Nano. So I should just be able to say this. Lobby Reef. And it goes right to the Lobby Reef dashboard.
So cool.
So whatever you name that, whatever floats your boat and makes it easy for you to remember, name it that, and you can just talk to Siri and launch those things.
That's great. So I know right now I've got 100 people out there, and 25 of them are going to the App Store right now trying to see if they can get this app.
Well, so if you have iOS 13, which it should be available now, it just comes installed on your phone. So it's part...
That stuff is, but our app...
Oh, our app,
You've just pushed that today, right?
Yes, we're submitting it for certification with Apple.
Right, so when do you think they're going to be able to get it?
I don't know.
Okay.
So when we submit to Apple for review, it's basically in their hands.
So it's not up to us, it's up to Apple. So, in that case...
Couple days, possibly.
I know in the past we've had it as quickly as 24, 48 hours, right?
Yeah, right.
And I know there's other times when it's been a week or so. So, all of you guys do the prayer that you need to do to get this out there. Joe's going to do his part to make sure it's submitted today because he's really excited about it.
Yes, I am.
The stuff I just saw, I'm super excited about.
Me too.
I'm super excited
I've been using this for a couple months now, so it's like I know what's there and how powerful it is.
Right.
It's good.
Right.
It's a good improvement.
So let's see if we got any more questions here. Dr. Big Bosshead said, Terrence, you're a female. I don't know what that context means, but okay. Dark mode for browser also.
Yep.
That is part of it. When we get that done, it'll show up in the app or in the browser, right? Let's see here. Let's see if there's anything else really good. Oh, a little shout out for Paul there. Look at that. Stellar Fly SBK says, "Hey Terrence, bring out Paul." We could always, come over here and just. Well, Paul will be back. Paul's missed 2 Let's Talk Reefs now, so Paul will be back next time. Paul has promised me he's going to put together some really good content for all of you guys. He's got a lot going on. Let's see here. Any other really great questions? Another person looking for a Trident. Let's see. Please let me know if there's a way to link the dose and the Trident, that if a level goes down, dose will pump in the associated liquid. I can imagine this would be amazing. Well, you know what? You're absolutely right. It is super amazing, and there's tons of people doing this already. Go out to our group. You'll see a lot of people super excited because they're using Trident controlled dosing, and it's completely safe.
Yep.
And we have people out there who've said plus or minus like 0.05 or less.
Yeah, it's
DKH.
really, it's crazy. That's locked in.
It's nuts.
That's locked in.
And then we have other people who, we get all the time people, when we came out with the Trident, other people who didn't have the capability to do calcium and magnesium said, oh, you don't need to do what do you need to do calcium for? It's all linked. And now I'm seeing all of these things coming out where people are like, oh, my calcium isn't, the 2-part doesn't quite line up or whatever.
Yep.
So, but definitely can do that. You can do the automated dosing for all 3 of the components with the Trident there, Jude. So thank you for asking the question. Let's see here. Any other good questions? Great update. Been using it a while myself. It's been very smooth. That's
awesome.
Eric.
Great, thanks, Eric.
Who did our video, so he's super happy with it.
Awesome videos.
John Del Monte, who comes out all the time, definitely likes it, Joe, so that's good.
Awesome.
Will it automatic update the app that I have now on my phone, or is it a total separate app?
So it will be an update to the existing app on your phone. It'll come through the App Store. It'll download. You probably won't notice too much difference. It looks about the same. We've made some of the buttons and text a little larger to match the bigger phone screens and everything.
Cool.
But it's an update to the existing app.
Cool. And for the last person just asked about the dosing, look at that. Matt Leonard already said controlled dosing works great, very stable.
Yep.
Well, I think that's about all of the questions. Let's see. I think that's... It got some funny ones in here.
Some weird ones today.
Yeah, there's some interesting ones in here. Some of them we can't repeat, but definitely keeping it fun. Well, I think we've used up about our hour, Joe. It's been great having you here.
Yeah, thanks for inviting
we're going to have you back again.
Cool.
You're going to have another iOS app launch for us in another 4 weeks, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah? So Joe's going to go on to doing some more really cool stuff in the UI. I'm really excited about the stuff that Joe's done already. And next Wednesday, we'll have Control Freak Wednesday again, 3:30 Pacific Standard Time, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Don't know who we're going to have on yet, so if you want to be on, please send me an email, terrence@neptunesystems.com, or send me a private message to come on, and we'll give you the props that you probably deserve as a control freak. 2 weeks from today, which is the 19th, we'll have another Let's Talk Reef, so please join us for that. Please share the videos. Make sure you subscribe, click the bell if you want to be notified, and join the fun like you've seen here. And definitely, ask the questions, because we love it when we get the questions,
yeah, it's
don't
awesome.
we, Joe?
Yeah, it's really interactive.
It makes it really interactive and fun. And other than that, till next time, guys, this is Let's Talk Reef with Neptune Systems. Terrence and Joe, take care. Enjoy those fish.